You might be watching the wrong person see it played. I didn't say I was good at the game. I'm just streaming. So it's very different. It's a completely different game. Both.
Yep. Both.
I just got some things that had they listened to the community could have been a little bit better. But okay, guys, we're back. We're on course number what the hell ever on day 3. I at least remember the day. And technically, we've gone into day 4 because it's 12:13 my time. So we're just not going to keep track of that anymore. We're just a lot of courses into this. So we're going to wrap the night up with Aengus Rock by Warhawk. And before I kick any of these off, I try to make my little now noted disclaimer that I'm going to say before every single stream we do on these. I'm going to be playing with player clubs, not tour clubs, even though I play with tour clubs every other time because I feel like most of the CC players are going to be playing with player clubs. It doesn't do me any good to play with tour clubs to gauge the difficulty of the course. Secondary, my play may be good. It may be bad. It can be a mixture of both. Just to let you guys know during these streams, my play does not dictate how the course is going to be judged. Has no bearing on the judging. Likewise, it has no bearing on whether I feel the course is CC appropriate or not. My play is my play, and like I said, it can be very random. The most important thing out of this is that I'm going to make comments during the threads. If you have a technical flaw on your course, I'm going to point it out as a technical flaw, and like we've said 20 some odd times before, the judges aren't going to disagree with that. A technical flaw is a technical flaw. A lot of what I have to say during a round are going to be things that I see as a designer. Pretty common knowledge now. I do a little bit of designing here and there, and this is my first playthrough of any of these courses, so I'm giving you my initial thoughts of what I see. So when I point things out, I'm just seeing it as a designer, and it's just things I think could either help the playability or it could help, the looks of your course. You can take it for what it is. If you agree with it, you agree. If you don't agree, that's fine as well. You don't have to agree with what I have to say. But more than anything, please don't come back into the course threads and start raising hell that I had a negative opinion on something, or PM me saying that you don't like my comments, blah, blah, blah. Just take them for what they were or what they are, and, and go on with it. So without further ado, we are going to play Aengus Rock. It's actually Aengus Rock, but I'm going to start calling it Aengus Rock or Aengus Rock for the rest of the night. I can't even say Aengus Rock now because I've got Aengus Rock stuck in my head. So, and just like we did with Kessler, we're going to give many apologies to Warhawk because he's going to get the more funny, candid, what the hell version of what's going on here over more of the serious critiques. Not that I'm doing serious critiques, but if they were serious, you ain't getting it here. Damn, even from the screenshot, that's a lot of fucking grass. I'm just looking at the profile pic over here for the course, and I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot of grass with a couple of purple flowers in it there, man. Woo. Okay.
I had that grass with my coffee this morning.
I have to go back into his thread here and see if he had recommended teas and pens. I'm probably look it up faster than he can tell me.
I vape, but I don't smoke anymore.
I vape for the most part. I still smoke every once in a while, especially when I drink. So I've been smoking a little bit tonight too. I'll do cigars, definitely. He wants us to use the black teas and pin set 1. Black teas and pin set 1 for Aengus Rock. Aengus Rock. You guys know. He wants black teas and pin 1. Okay, $69.95. No. You're fine right there. $69.95, man. That's going to... it's not like on CC that we're going way down in distances. I'm not putting 6,200-yard courses out there for CCM. CCM is going to play average 6,700 to 7,000 yards. 7,100 yards probably the max. CC Pro will not go below 6,800 yards, ever. So, wait, what pin set did he say he wanted us to play? 1 or 4? Oh, shit! 1. Okay. God, I'm glad you said that. I didn't want to have to go look that up again. It's too late at night. It's freaking 12:15 in the morning. here. So I can't believe I'm doing this. Why do I feel like Kessler's going to be pissed off at me tomorrow? He's going to leave the game. He's gonna create a Wags post saying, I'm done with this game, all because of my critique. Oh, this is taking a minute to load. Warhawk, how much damn grass did you put onto this, man? We're 45 seconds into this already and we ain't loaded yet. What the hell?
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait a little while. I made my coffee and waited for this thing to load.
Ooh, shit. Speaking of which, usually I have a cup of coffee before bed. I'm probably not going to tonight. I'm just going to finish off this wine. My aquarium lights are still on, and usually I have those turned off at 10 o'clock. We're 2 hours past on that. It's not good for my algae growth, man. Yeah, a little bit weird about my aquariums. We got the 200-gallon salt water and then 4 5-gallon beta tanks. And we have a fish house. Our house is fishy. Okay, guys, here we go. Woo! Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, our big one here is 200 gallons, 200 gallon salt water. Lots of different things. A lot of damselfish, parrotfish, some tangs, real coral. What's that? Nah, no sharks. What?
Yeah, he gets drunk one night, stick his hand in a tank and get bit.
Actually, if you put one piranha in a tank, you'd be okay. They're actually very non-aggressive. If it's only one piranha,
Yeah,
it's when they're in a pack.
Aggressive in groups. My buddy had a freaking big-ass tank with piranha in it.
Yeah, just one piranha is actually very, very, very non-aggressive. Okay, Warhawk. I'm going to give you, as somebody that likes to do a lot of tall grass, I'm going to give you my very first hint on this right here. It's not always the grass you put in, it's the impression of grass that you put in. You did not need to layer your grass this thick all the way through, especially when you're oversizing it like this. You don't have to clump it up that much. You can use one brush here, and then create another piece and put it over here, and then another piece over here, and another piece over here, because from a depth standpoint, it will look no different from the tee box as what you have right there. I promise you, it will not look one bit different than what you have right there. On some of your filler that you have going, like on your white, I don't even know what this technically is, like through here, you've condensed it in a little bit too thick. You actually want to take this and you want to have a little bit of a clump here, then move over here and do a little bit of a clump, and move over here and do a little bit of a clump. Don't put a lot of your same, colors, whether it be the white stuff right there, the blue, the green, or whatever. Don't put it in big, large pockets. Spread it out. It fills in the way you want it to. It gives just enough color to make it interesting, but it's not a distraction. So like your pink right there, not so much on this hole, but it could be considered a distraction because it's just like, okay, I don't see pink to the left. I don't see pink to the right. I see one big pink glob of shit down there in the front. As people, this is what we subconsciously pick up on. And while there's nothing wrong with what you've done right here, it starts becoming very segregated with your colors and everything else. You start dividing these looks up. So, yeah. So that would be the one thing on the planting. That's the only thing I'm going to mix in there because planting wise, it's not what you can do with the grass. You don't have to pack that in really tight. You need illusion of grass more than you need grass. If I don't know if you've played Rasputin or not. I've done a lot of grass work on that course. It's the greens at Old Rasputin. I'm not soliciting for plays. I'm really not. But if you haven't looked at it, you can go look at what I've done on some of the planting on the holes. There's a lot of areas where it looks like I've got a lot of really thick grass, almost like what you've done, and I don't have near the grass that you have. I have sections of grass that are planted bigger than what you have right there that probably has less actual grass in it than what you have. But see, that's the point. I was not trying to make the planting the highlight of the course. It's only there to create sight lines. Now that being said, I probably overdid it here and there, but so looking at your front bunkers right here, you've gone, you got a lip here on the back. That's pretty cool. You can make this a little bit cleaner coming off the back side. And I understand that I'm not going to say you're new in the designer, you're newish in the designer. So a lot of what I'm going to have to say is going to be catering towards that mindset. So when you're at the top of your bunker right here, especially if you're going to use this as a fairway with fairway all the way around it, be more gentle with your slope coming off. Don't make that so stark. That needs to be a lot more gradiated coming off. So use the round, soft, fuzzy brush. Take it from the top. Hold your X button down, or I don't know what you're designing on. I design on Xbox, PS4. So I use a PS4 controller for both PS4 and PC. I hold down on my X button. It's going to be the bottom button, basically. Hold down at the top and hold it. Move it halfway down. Let up on it. Hit it again. Move it down a little bit further. Let up on it. Hold down and do it. And it's going to give you a nice gradual slope from the top here down into your valley. And it's not going to be such a stark contrast between what you got going on there. I mean, the other thing to think about is that I would not run my fairway all the way down to this bunker with the way you have it lipped. If this is flatter and everything, you can do that. But with the way this is recessed in there, how you built your terrain up, my rule of thumb is this: anywhere where you see fairway, it has to be mowed. So who mows this right here? What lawnmower are they using to run up into this area right here? So you're actually better off ending your fairway over here on this side of it, on the back side of your hill, and letting this be a rough area. You just use heavy rough up on it and let it be there. So, and that's something you're going to hear me talk about, not so much in this contest because we haven't really had it pop up, but when you're sculpting, whether it be on the edge of a green, edge of a fairway, or whatever, if it can't be mowed, it probably shouldn't be there. If it's too steep of an angle for somebody to run a lawnmower over it, over something that's obviously going to be a mowed surface, being a fairway or green, it shouldn't be there. That's for those of us that tend to be a little bit more hardcore in the realism aspect. That's going to be something that we're going to kind of gig as, okay, that doesn't belong. Your canter right here, or your camber on this, is actually pretty cool. Just a little more gentle. Just want to take a little bit more time to get yourself a flat gradient from here coming down in there. It doesn't have to be so rough edge. What you have isn't bad. Don't take it that way at all. I'm just saying it would look a little bit more presentable if that was smoothed out just a little bit. Yeah, Taco, that's a lot of grass, man. We're going to have an award for the most grass on a course award. We're going to call it the Arctic Fury Award. This cat just won it. That's actually now a thing. I just decided that's a thing. So on our awards night, this is going to win the Arctic Fury Grass Award.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to get a trophy.
That's the first thing I thought of. I was like, man, this dude saw Arctic Fury's course and went wild.
Okay, well, I'm going to change my mindset.
I don't even know how he found the patience to plant all that grass.
I mean, some of the looks are actually pretty good of it.
When I got to start doing that.
This is actually, from a look standpoint, it's not bad. It's a lot of grass. Those of us that have spent a lot of time with the designer are probably sitting back shaking our heads right now. We're going to go, oh my God, why did you do this that way? That being said, it's obvious that you had a vision that you were going for this. You had a concept of what you wanted this to look like, and it's not unappealing. I mean,
I went nuts. Nah, sorry, Chris. I was reading this. I was reading this comment.
I haven't played Mitch's course, so I don't know Summer's Eve. Um, I don't know why it just cracked me up.
Summer's Eve.
Summer's Eve.
Yeah.
That's Mr. Vinegar's new name is Summer's Eve. Those of you that are dirty-minded and a little bit jaded in life and remembers the old Summer's Eve commercials and know what it's made out of, you're going to laugh at that. Yeah, exactly. He got it, douche. Well, his name's Mr. Vinegar on the stream, so I'm just having fun with him. This is his. He just became a scheduler for the Euro Tours on TGC Tours. Congrats, by the way. So I'm thickening his skin. So there, your planting and everything is great here. The problem you have with it is that because of, and once again, I'm trying to keep in mind that this is a link style, course on it. You probably got a little bit low on your elevation right here, but that's a very, very minor thing. I'm not going to gig that too much. No, I do. I play these all around, man. Believe me, we play these courses several times. These are feedbacks that we're actually giving the designer, and this one's actually in the thread right here. So, and he's I'm not gonna say a new designer. He's newish, so I'm just kind of giving him a little bit of wisdom as we go through. So there's a look standpoint, there's a playability aspect, and then there's the how we combine them both together thing. So got a little bit of a tiered green. Not horrible. Yeah. Yeah, it's called Aengus Rock. I mean Aengus Rock. We have a little bit of fun with these as well. So, shit, 47.
Yeah, we do.
47 feet away, up 2 feet. I'm going to have to kill this putt. The good news is I think I can only send it so far because I've got 20 feet of behind me there to stop it up against. So the I would be careful on my tiers right here. I probably soften those just a little bit. You can still keep your tiers, but soften them just a little bit. These are 166s, so medium fast. Ugh! I knew that was going to happen. On 166 greens, that's the toughest putt for shit. On any green, that's the toughest putt for me. I'd almost rather have a putt from 20 feet than have to do that 6-footer right there. So much break in it. You hit a little bit too hard, you're past the hole. You hit a little bit too soft, it does exactly what it did on me right there and just dies off. So. I mean, seriously, Warhawk, you've got some good looks going on around here as far as the planting, as far as what you're going for with the looks. It's actually pretty cool. I like the little pockets and everything else. You've hit your objective on that. Yeah, I'm going to come through that. So we've got, okay. I would think about spacing my tee boxes out just a little bit because from your black tees back here to your very front tee, and you got 5 different tee sets, so it's not that big of a difference in yardage. I mean, I realize, I mean, I'll have to look at it at different holes. This is a 396-yard hole, so I can see it being this way on this one. But if they stay consistently grouped like this, they don't serve a purpose. You actually need to space them out just a little bit more. But once again, we'll determine that on the.
I gotta get out of this fucking designer. It's fucking ruining my life.
So what he did on this bunker right here was exactly what I was talking about before. You just want to rough up that back edge on that front one, so that one works. Your light rough comes up a little bit too high on the hill, a little bit unrealistic because of the contouring you've done right there. That can be a little bit smoother off your back lip. Those are just the finishing touches, and that's something that you're only going to get with time as a designer, man, to be honest. It's just a time thing. And contest courses are not where you try to figure yourself out. This bunker is actually really solid one side to the other. Same thing right here. Your light rough is a little bit too high up because I don't know how they did that without the use of hand clippers and a lot of fucking time. So just pull it off a little bit, pull it back down to this range, let it curve around there, and you're good to go. The bunker shape itself, I actually like flatten this out a little bit here in the front, make it a little bit more even, give your depth to it so you actually see it. I always try to have a high side on a bunker and a low side. Let this be your low side, let it be a little bit more visible. But it's solid, man. Why do I feel like Scarpacci's getting a little bit defensive and feel like he's having to take up for people? Scarpacci's making me feel like, you know what? Fuck what this dude says. It's fucking awesome. That's what Scarpacci's doing right now.
Okay, favorited mayonnaise. I can't find. What is it with him in the Wanderers Club, man? Is he naming everything Wanderers Club?
Yeah, it's his thing. And it's fine. I like it. I think it's cool when designers have a theme and they kind of run with it, just like mine are the greens at or the TPC at, blah, blah, blah. It's how I set my courses apart. So,
yeah, he's got bunkers.
So
it's on the screenshot. Burn fast.
This right here, you can have this stark of a drop off of your green complex, but I would have used a different brush on it so it's not quite as symmetrical as it's going around, because that just looks like you took like around the half circle brush right here and you chopped it into the ground. Then you used a straight edge brush. Actually, I know what brush you used to do it right here. And you just chopped it down. Then you used another brush and you chopped it down. There is one brush, 1, 2, 3, fourth page, far left, 1, 2, 3, 4. Page 4, far left, down 4. It's kind of got like a craggly looking shape on the outline. If you will use that on the edge of your stuff on this, it gives you an area where it will jut out right here, and then it'll cut back in. It'll jut out and it will cut back in. It will look more realistic than this does. I actually don't mind this bunker being hidden as much as it is. I think it works okay right there as a traditional pot bunker. This one right here, this is not good sculpting here, man. This needs to be a little bit flatter one way or another. If you want to have a camber left to right, that's fine, but start out high up here and let it run down. And I would actually drop it off pretty quick, raise this bunker up just a tad, and then let this be a little bit more even going into your green. You can have it running a little bit high left to right, but not that much. That's a little bit over exaggerated in my opinion, just from a look standpoint. I mean, playability wise, it's not really going to be played. It's not that long of a hole and everybody's going to be going in, but from a look standpoint, you can help yourself a lot by lowering that down and flattening it out.
Wow, you weren't kidding, Matt. He did go a little wild on the sand. He got a lot of sand. How the fuck you supposed to get to that pin?
Damn, that thing still curved more than I thought. That had more break in it than I thought it was going to. I should have birdied that one. Sorry, one of Reeb's comments when he was doing the pros and cons just popped into my head, and it still cracks my ass up every time I think.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah.
If you know the one I'm not talking about.
Yo, I know. Trust me, when I read it, I about fell out of my chair when I was reading it. He had me rolling. Believe me, I read it all. I was reading it right before I was playing it. That's why. It's like, okay, let me go see what this is about.
Okay. So, Warhawk, your rock down here on the lower right serves no purpose. It actually feels out of place. It almost feels like you were going along and said, think I need something there. Let me find a rock. Bam, there's a rock. And go on. So, it doesn't necessarily serve a purpose. Your rocks on the left right there are fine because they're like working into the grass. Other ones you have over there are fine. But that just looks like a rock that just got stuck there for the sake of having a rock. Not everything has to have a purpose, but everything doesn't need to look like it has no purpose, if that makes sense. That's straight from Confucius right there, bitches. So, I mean, that's kind of a cool little look with the planting right there in front. I don't know why you'd hide a bunker behind it. Make a choice.
What I thought too.
Yeah, make a choice on what you want to do right here.
There's a bunker there. Don't hide the bunker.
Yeah, if you want to have a bunker and get rid of this. If you want to have this, which I actually think looks really good, get rid of the bunker. Doesn't serve a purpose. So make a choice right there. Trying to pack too much into a small area.
These people know this is a CC event. God.
I don't think he got mad at you because you said it wasn't a turquoise, Clint. I think it's because the way you said it. I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, let's not like gloss over the facts here. I read the thread too. Come on now. I ain't taking up for Mitch, but I'm like not sensitive about my course at all. I don't give a shit what people say, but I probably still would have like given you a fucking bird off that. I've been like, fuck you, dude. You're a little bit aggressive in your analysis on that one. It was more like a, what the fuck are these TGC1 courses doing on TGC2 and blah, blah. It was barely, what was that phrase? It was barely a it was barely a course on TGC1. Why the hell are we trying to use it here? I think that was the nature of what was said. Yeah, exactly. Come on now. Don't fuck with me. Daddy knows. Clint, you just cracked me up, man. That was funny. Yeah, I just slightly mentioned, I just made a suggestion very, very gently that I didn't know if it was appropriate. And the rest of the story, for anybody that knows Paul Harvey.
Oh, he's kind of right.
He may be right, but it was the way he came about it, man. He was a little bit aggressive in that delivery right there. It was almost like, I don't think this course should have been fucking included in TGC1. I sure as fuck don't think it should have been here. Pull your head out of your ass and move on. And then Mitch is just like, okay, that was pleasant.
Fucking Dale picked the motherfucker up. I mean, Jesus Christ.
No, he's using widow speak for two. Well, that's where the thread was, and that's what he was talking about. So,
yeah, I know.
I mean, it's tight, man. That was a rough course in one. I'm not going to agree. I don't. And I mean, now I can be very candid with Mitch. I have a long-standing relationship with Mitch, so there's things I can say that other people can't say. That is not a course that I would have used in TGC2. Not unless you were just trying to get a major result out of it and ensure that everybody is damn near over par. That is a tight fucking course for this game. Not on my end, man. I'm still showing I'm flowing here, baby. I'm over par, but I'm flowing.
Fucking
what
damn,
a
what is I thought.
big fucking green.
Called him the new wag.
Called who the new wags?
Oh, fucking Dan, you're such a dick. Oh, jeez. I'm voting for Clint to be the new Wags.
Oh. No, there's no similarities in their personality at all. So.
Yeah, Baffo's like, I'm not ready to deal with a new Wags yet.
Oh, talking about the response to that. Oh yeah, I got
Yeah,
you. I
I
had to
was
go
dying
back.
when I was
Sorry.
reading
Yeah.
that today, man. I
Yeah.
forgot that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
I had to go back and look at the rest of it. I was like,
No,
oh,
no, no,
God,
no.
here we
It's going to be
go.
even better. Now he's a scheduler. He would love dealing with Wags as a scheduler because he'd have to go through and deal with all that monkey shit every fucking course you put up there.
Oh, good
So,
fucking Lord.
okay, Warhawk, back to what we're doing right here.
Yeah,
So,
Dan called you the new Wags.
you've actually got a really cool concept going on this hole. There's a lot I actually like about this hole, tee green right here. Where you missed it is you've got a really good looking fairway over here, right, or bunker over here off the fairway. This right here looks good,
You can't see it.
looks solid. Now that being said, you got a little bit of a depth issue going on here where you either didn't work your terrain before you put it in, or you tried so hard to flatten it that you kept on dropping the elevation of it every time you hit flatten on it, like through this area. Needs to be a little bit more even from front to back on your bunker right here. You don't want to hit points like this where it's so extreme from this point up to this point. That being said, it's actually a really cool aspect of this hole. That's a good looking bunker from shape and the way it fits in right there, but you've completely hidden it. So this is where, as a designer, you want to start picking out where you want your highlights in your hole. You've seen enough of these streams to know where I'm going to go with some of the stuff now, I'm sure. You may not need as much drop off of this tee box as what you have. I probably, personally, would have eliminated a lot of my planting and a lot of my drop off the tee box. Smooth this side out and let this bunker been the feature on this right here. And all my planting would have been to the left of my bunker. So you didn't need anything in between it, and this just needs to be smoother and dropped. And this raised, your bunker complex actually raised up and evened out a little bit, and you've got like a whole different look to that hole right there. That, number one, is more.
Man, that's a lot of grass.
Yeah, that's a lot of grass, man. I
God,
applaud.
I don't know how he did it. Dude, it's not even that. I'm amazed that he had the patience enough to plant all that grass.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of mind-numbing time sitting there going, click,
oh man,
ding,
sitting there watching that ball
click,
spin,
ding,
click,
ding.
click, ding,
Yeah.
click.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just ready to die, dude. You have no idea. I'm ready to shoot myself over that shit. Fuck. I commend him on it that he even had the ability that he can handle anything, dude. Anybody that can plant that much grass can handle anything in this game. That's patience up the wazoo, man.
Yeah, the rotate trick doesn't have a damn thing to do with how long it takes to put that in.
Oh, it still takes forever,
yeah,
dude.
I mean,
I rotate mine too.
Exactly. I rotate my grasses. I change the sizes of it and everything else. But we both know from experience what it takes to put that in. Especially, this was faster. Putting this in was faster in one because it just worked faster. I mean, it was click, 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 and you go on. Yep. In TGC2, this is click.
Smoke a cigarette.
Ding! Click. Ding!
Oh,
click.
No, I'm doing it now, and I'm not nothing like this.
Click. Ding! So, Clint says he planted more grass on his first hole than I planted in 5 courses. But
oh yeah, that's no shit.
Yeah, maybe. But so, I mean, we're just illustrating that we feel your pain.
Didn't have it. Well, no, Robert Trent Jones had a lot of grass, but Copperhead had 0. Fucking Squirrel had almost 0. I'm not going to get that lucky with Bethpage, though. I'm going to have to plant some grass.
I'm going to start speeding this up a little bit because I'm going to keep repeating myself on certain things. Same thing on this bunker right here. Your lip is good. I like the idea behind your lip. No reason to have fairway up against the lip. Run your fairway on the outside edge of this and run it around your lip of your hillock right here, and then rough this in here on this side. This is not realistic to have this kind of angle on fairway grass, because once again, somebody has to cut it, brother. So I'm not going to repeat it over and over. I might like point it out here and there. The one thing I keep in mind, granted, this is a link style course, so you can take more liberty with your humps and bumps than other courses can. You don't want to do this style on parkland for sure, but you still want some smoother areas than what you've got, especially in certain places. There's certain spots here that if you just run your round soft fuzzy brush, hold it up here and smooth it out, going into different areas, it just looks a lot more clean and a lot more polished.
Had too many blind second shots. You know, I wish he would have lowered some of the trains.
Yeah,
sometimes
that's that's something that, I mean, I'm just going to be straight up with him as we get into this. It's going to hurt you a little bit in the judging, is that we've got so many blind shots, especially second shots where we've blocked off to cover the green. It's okay to have blind shots here and there, but they should be just here and there, as in like one at the most two a course. You don't want them consistently shot after shot. You want to show off your greens and your green complexes. You want to show off all these bunkers. You want to show off your landings or your planting, and you want to show the player their landing area. You don't want to do it over and over and over again. So it's going to, it just starts feeling tedious a little bit over the course of a round.
Oh, fuck, it's 2 o'clock, dude. You're on your own.
Yeah, y'all have fun.
What do you want to do after dark this week?
We'll figure it out.
My dumb ass needs some fucking rest.
Yeah.
And I gotta play. These courses are popping out like mad fire, and I gotta get to playing some more of these.
Oh yeah, they start coming out like machine gun fire over next couple of days.
Came out. Mitch's came out today. I don't know. Vinegar. Did Vinegar put his out?
Not yet. I don't think Summer's Eve is going to finish.
Not making. I know he said he was restricted on time.
Yeah. I don't think Summer's Eve is going to finish. I think he's just like luring us into thinking he's going to put a course out in the last minute. Sorry, guys. I'm playing, Matt. So a little bit smoother on the edge of your green right here. That's a little bit of rough doing this. I'm taking a little bit extra time on this because I realized that from an experience standpoint, you don't have the hours in the designer that some of the other guys do. So I am trying to keep that in mind. And that's why I'm trying to point some of these things out, because it's not feedback you're going to get on your course thread. So it's all about the finishing. This is way too stark right here, man. That is too sharp of an angle off the edge of the green down into that bunker. So if you want to have it that deep behind there, that's fine. It can be hidden, but you want this to be a pretty even surface coming up there and it not going down there. And by doing that, you'll avoid this crinkly looking shit that we get on there. We all struggle with this as designers. And a lot of that is the limitation of how the game renders elevation changes more so than it is you as a designer, but you can avoid a lot of this, and it's just experience. And it just means you've got your tool when you're flattening out and you're trying to drop this, you've got it too close to the edge of your green. You got to pull that off about another yard before you start that. Otherwise, you're going to get these really, really sharp crinkles and divots in your stuff there. What the hell, man? I get a fucking bogey and my dude jumps up and down like I just won the fucking lottery. I get a birdie and he's just like, let me wipe off my club. I like the idea of this one here as an up and over type thing. This is something I don't think a lot of designers take advantage of in this game, especially with their new ball physics, is shortening up your hill to about 200 yards and hitting over the top of it and letting it fall down. So I like the idea behind this right here. Be careful with your bunkers. If you are going to do a hole like that, try not to make the bunkers too playable, because TST players and most players don't know they're there. So just be careful how close you try to put them to a playable area off the tee. bunkers on the left right there, those two actually look really, really good. I like those a lot. This one right here, same thing we've been talking about before. Unrealistic to have your fairway bleeding down into it. So run it around the outside and let that be rough on the inside. Even those old famous courses you see over in England that you're trying to emulate right there, they don't have fairway running down in there. They usually have some kind of texture or rough or something on the inside edge. With that steep of an incline, they're always going to have it. So usually they're stepped off. So you can duplicate that using a little trick for anybody else watching. You can actually use the single layer step, the wooden steps. You can actually go in here on the edge right here and lay a layer, and then come up a little bit right on top of it, run another layer, run another one, and just keep on bleeding it right back in till you get about a foot from the top, and it will actually give it that look of old English style bunkers where you've got the stepped off stuff on the inside of it. It's a cool look. I actually had somebody message me the other day saying they want me to do an old English style course. It's somebody I've had a long-standing relationship with because I've had an idea for a link style course called Royal Tyneside. I'm a big Newcastle United fan. Yes, I'm American and I follow English soccer or football, as the case may be. And big Newcastle fan. And I thought about doing one called Royal Tyneside, but that's one of the things I kind of developed for that look. And I think since that point, I think Arctic Fury's done something similar. I'd have to go back and look at the course and figure out what he did and how I did it if it was. But you can use the single layer step and put it back into that hill right there. And you can create that look that you see on some of the British Opens, you know, when you're watching those courses. Oddly enough, I grew up in Italy, so I grew up kind of watching soccer with the Italian teams over there, especially AC Milan and Inter Milan. I was actually a Juventus fan, which led me to be a Newcastle fan. I'll get into that in a different stream. But I kind of grew up on it. But so, do I need to repeat what I've been saying about the bunkers? These are just sunk too much, man. These would be better up a little bit higher. Other than that, I actually like the grassy look coming through here. It's you didn't have to use as much grass, but I very much applaud you for where you're going. And I think it fits. It's actually a very cool look in my opinion. Yep, I grew up in Aviano, Italy, not that far from Milan, so got to watch a lot of Inter Milan and Milan AC in their derby and that little rivalry that went on, and just watched a lot of soccer from different countries growing up. Yep, my dad was Air Force growing up, so went Aviano Air Base. And then I disgraced the family and went Army. Couldn't handle being one of those Air Force pussies. So I'm just playing. Obviously, if I'm military, I have love for all the branches. Shit, my dad's dad, my grandfather was Army, so I followed in his footsteps. And then, of course, I'm retired Army myself, so I've either lived or visited just about everywhere. Not too many corners of the world that I haven't ventured into at some point. And believe it or not, I've been playing golf since I was a kid. I've played golf just about everywhere you can imagine. I've seen all sorts of shit. I have in real life seen a par 3 that you have to take a helicopter to play. And the green is in the shape of Africa. It's a crazy fucking hole. I think, want to say Jason White actually tried to duplicate that hole once, but It doesn't do it justice as far as the way it really plays. It's crazy. Crazy hole. Played some courses in Africa, man, that are actually quite good that most people have never heard of. South Africa actually has some amazing courses. A little bit smoother here, man. That's going to be the theme of your course right here. Just to be a little bit smoother and getting your transitions. Yep, that's the one. The Eye of Africa, baby. Anybody ever doubts me, I've got a picture of me standing on that tee box and standing on the green. I did not birdie it. I did not par it. I think I made triple bogey on it. Damn, did you see that ball? Did you see the break in that putt and watch where my ball goes? That putt went perfectly fucking straight. I'm watching on my stream right now. No way in hell. Great googly moogly. I've been to 2 goat fuckings in a county fair and ain't never seen that shit before. Son of a bitch. That was nuts. So, on this one, Warhawk, oh man, one of these days I'm going to get you in a private stream. Do you design on PC? If you design on PC, I would have you send me your course file, and I'll get in here and show you just some like fine detail techniques. On this right here, you can clean some of your edges up. You see how like you got this, okay. Well, after this is over, what I'm going to have you do is send me this course file, and I want to get in with you and have you watch me do a live stream and do some things, and you can actively see me do what I'm talking about doing right here, and it's going to make a lot more sense. So like on this right here, you see how you got your roly-poly edges on, oh shit, come on Griff, figure this shit out, man. Pull your camera back, asshole. God. Derp. Oh, blah, 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 blah. So you see your edges right here where you kind of got it. You kind of got the crimping going on. It's hard to do with a driver in your hand because it wants to pull the camera back, but it's not smooth through there. And this is not a major thing, and this isn't anything that's going to count against you or anything else. I mean, this is fine detail work. But your problem is your tee boxes are so close that you're trying to have one level here, and you're trying to use the flatten tool right in front of it, and then you're trying to use the flatten tool, and then you're trying to use the flatten tool, and what you end up getting are these crimps and dings all the way across the front right there. The fact of the matter is that once you get them, they're there. There is no going back and fixing this shit. You can't do it with any tool. Once it's there, it's there. You just have to undo it and then go back and fix it. What's causing it is that your tee boxes are so close together by where you're trying to flatten in front of it. See if I can get spinned around here and show you what I'm talking about. So all that needs to happen right here is that you extend your flatten tool out a little bit in front of your tee box right here, and then you move this where you want to use your God damn it, this is irritating the shit out of me. Where you're wanting to flatten beyond that needs to be further away than that right there. It still may crimp, but it will be so far away from your view that you're not going to see it. So you want this tee box a little bit further forward, and then use your flatten tool about halfway between where your tee marker is on this tee box in front right here and where the back of your tee box actually is. That's actually where you want to start your flatten tool to avoid it. When you go behind that, you're just too close up against where you're trying to do it. So you're trying to use a sharp flatten in too much of a confined space. And this game does not render that way when it comes to terrain. It's going to crimp the shit out of you. And it ends up giving you this. And it's the same thing on your fairways, same thing on your bunker edges and everything else. So like on a bunker, if you want to avoid crimping your edges on a bunker, don't start your sculpting your bunker right up against your edge of your bunker. Move it a yard in, and I usually go first page, very top row, far right as the very first flatten tool that I use. I shrink it down all the way that I can. I place it 1 yard on the inside of my of the lip of my bunker, and then I just hold the button down and run it all the way through on the outside edge. And then I keep holding the button down and do the entire bunker. I do the middle and everything else. I let off of it. And then I come back and use the round soft fuzzy brush. Make it a little bit bigger. I raise it up 1 foot 1 inch. The reason being that every time you use the flatten tool in the bunker, if you don't raise it up, it's going to lower it by 1 foot. So like on this bunker, it's exactly what it looks like you did here, whether intentionally, unintentionally, or whether this wasn't the case at all. It may have just been by the design of your terrain. But it looks like you kept going on in this bunker and trying to flatten it out in the bottom. So every time you went to try to flatten that out, you lowered it a foot. So you keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So what you do is use the round soft fuzzy brush and you raise it up 1 foot 1 or 1 foot 2 inches. And then go across it in sections, and that flattens out the bottom of the pan of your bunker, but it doesn't drop your elevation within your bunker, if that makes sense. So that way you don't start getting these really, really deep, what I call bathtub bunkers out of it. And you want to be careful from a hole design standpoint. This one isn't bad, because you've got enough length behind your, or enough depth on your green that's going to work okay from here. But you want to be very careful when you start getting over 200 yards of running anything that's going to be front to back or is tiered off where your high side's on the front. Typically, you want on anything over 200 yards, especially in this game, you want to have your high side be to the back and then use your tier on the front. That way people can use that slope to roll up on it and kind of stop their ball, versus having something at 200 yards that you're trying to dial on the distance that goes a little bit long and then you're back off there in no man's land, especially being 19 feet lower than your tee box right here. So this can be a tricky shot. 8-mile-an-hour wind. So see, I'm gonna play this way short of where it actually needs to be, just to not hit that shelf back there. And I'm not entirely sure that I can't hit it. And see, I'm actually going to live with that right there, because in a tournament round, I'm not playing with that pin position right there with where it's going. So no, it's not bad. I could have played that better. I mean, I could have like hit that a little bit closer into the hole. But my main point on that, just trying to be course management, if I'm trying to play this realistic, I'm wanting to land my ball either where I did or somewhere up here on the front and let it roll out and save par on it. What I don't want to do is hit this a little bit long and then go off down there, because then I've got, 35 plus feet coming back up that hill that I'm going to assume is every bit of 1.5 feet, damn near 2 feet of elevation, that as soon as it comes up over the top of the hill, starts running downhill. So I can hit that putt, I can land back there, and I can damn near end up right down in here off of a putt that I have no shot at. So it's just playing that one a little bit more careful. This is a little bit more comfortable shot for me right here. So this is all about saving par on this, not trying to score. So some of the more aggressive players will go for it. A lot of them will play that and make birdie, and others will be unfortunate and may have a bogey plus on this. So this could be interesting hole. There's nothing wrong with your design right there. You just want to be careful on doing it on future courses. That's the only reason I mention it. It's pretty much, you always, when you start getting over 200 yards on a par 3, you want your high side of your green to be your back side, not the front. I mean, it's not like a written rule or anything, but it is what it is. good look off this one. Like I said, I'm not going to keep hitting the same things over and over on it. Damn, man, that makes me want to go towards that green so bad, because even if I landed this tall shit over there, yeah, I'm at least going to cut it here. I'm probably going to end up in the rough. I might be able to clear that and bounce down to the fairway. I'm still going to play it because it's not going to hurt me a lot coming out of there. The fast swing's going to hurt me. Yay, fast! I was actually hoping to carry it a little bit more off over there to the right and just hit off the top, get a big bounce, and flow down. So, yeah. Only reason I played that shot is I knew I could still make par coming out of the rough right there. So I hit that too hard. I hit it just a little bit too hard. Damn, I had the line on that. I hit it just a little bit too hard. Now, if you start getting feedback on this, don't be surprised if people talk about your greens being a little bit rugged. I actually am not having a problem with them. I'm thinking they're a little bit fun. I like some of the cuts and breaks in them. I haven't had anything yet that says, oh shit, if I miss this, I'm not going to be able to make par. Kind of deal. That's when I think they get unfair, is that if they have like a slope or something like that. But I will say this, you've got some very, very strong design elements in this. It's every bit of this is just going to be time in the designer. It's just fine tuning a lot of this, and it's just learning your angles, learning sight lines, and everything else. Quit trying to block everything off. Quit trying to be so cute and think you have to have certain things in here to make it shine. Let the course be the shine. Whoa, what the fuck? What the fuck is that? Whoa. Whoo, boy. You get stuck in that motherfucker right there and you're done for the day. If I played that in real life and I got stuck in that, I'd just take my clubs and walk back to the damn clubhouse. I'm going to go drink some damn Heinekens and be done with my afternoon. Just playing. A little bit deep there, kid. But, I mean, you've got some really, really good things going for you on this course. Your concepts are really great. And I applaud what you did with the planting. You did overkill it with the grass. We all know that right now. You could have lessened up on the grass, but the look you got off of it, I think, is what you wanted, and I think it's successful from a general look standpoint. A little bit overdone here and there, but it fits. The funny thing is, there's some things that are rough around the edges on this, and that's, I mean, you're going to see it with newer designers, but it's got enough quirkiness to it that it's kind of fun, if that makes sense. I know, it's weird. It's weird. It's fucking weird. I'm only on hole number 9, and I'm an hour into this, ain't I? Gotta pick my damn pace of play up here, man. Damn Marshall's about to jump all over my ass. See, this is where you want to be careful with your humps and bumps. Just smooth out some areas. Create some of your rough areas in your fairways. I mean, that's pretty typical of link style courses like that. You're going to have some areas like that, but just don't just make it all over the place. Be a little bit smoother here and there. It's going to give you a little more consistent play. Oh, this fucker's either going to go short or fly. Oh my God. I must have only taken a half swing on that. I had like a little bit of a hiccup on the PS4 side of it. It lagged on my backswing. I only hit that like 3/4. Son of a bitch. Oh yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. This for birdie? Okay. Okay. Ah. Woo, goodbye ball. It ain't birdie anymore. It ain't even par. I'm not parring this. It's gonna be a bogey. So I was hoping I might be able to stick that for par, but I can't complain too much. Damn. It's a lot more fun green when you don't play it like I just did. Damn. I'm over par on this. Shouldn't be. So, like I said, some of the stuff I'm not going to keep touching. With like these bunkers up here, you already know what I'm going to say about them, so it is what it is. A little different brush on your outside edges of your fair or of your cliffs over here, just to kind of create a more natural look. Otherwise, I actually really like that. I like the look. This is, I think it's a sharp looking hole. This is actually very good looking. You also want to be careful about introducing too many hazards into. I mean, it's a 484 yard par four, so be very careful about sticking shit in people's landing areas on this one. Don't double punish people. You've already punished them with the distance. Don't double punish them with trying to have to hit great shots to avoid hazards. This must be hole number 10. See, I mean, it's a 484 yard, and this is a driver right there, and that's just damn near. Oh, look, it is hole number 10. See, y'all think I'm making this shit up, man. Every fucking time, and it's not like I'm doing anything different. I'm fucking amazed. Oh, wait, this is 18 feet down, so I can probably get away with this here. Stick, you bitch. Man, I swear to God, based on the slope right there, this isn't that bad. But from that view in, that looked like it was too much of a shelf. But that doesn't look that bad right there. So I'm going to take my criticism away in short order. Okay. I don't know that it fits on this hole, only because, once again, it's a 480 yard par 4. So I would try to be very careful about, once again, creating punishment right here. I mean, with the physics in this game, that can be hard to carry. And if somebody does carry it, come on, move around. It's so slow as fuck when I get on this. Trying to get back and see how much distance you give me to like play into it. So yeah, give me a pretty tight shelf. Trying to get up in there. If I run a little bit long, I hit a bunker that if I come out of it, if I'm even a little bit long, I'm back down the hill again. So be careful where you're applying your punishment. That was a bad putt by me. I played it too far out to the right. I thought I was going to take a bigger swing right off my putt than it did, but with whoa, whoa, oh yeah. frame rate Armageddon here, bitches. That's a lot of grass, Warhawk. That's a lot of fucking grass, kid. Whew. Alrighty. And almost too much because we completely hid the hole. I wouldn't have pulled all my grass up that tight. I would have tried to show off my hole a little bit more right there. You actually hid some very good work down here on this. That's a very cool looking green complex. The way you've done that, and you completely hit it. So pick where you're going to let your course shine. Don't hide your green complexes. Showcase them. Get in there, ball. Fuck you. Warhawk may have actually gone to bed, man. How the fuck we still have 10 people watching this? What's up, Aaron? Man, I've damn near had several hole-in-ones doing these streams. I got one hole-in-one on Aaron Links. I actually had a hole-in-one on that one, and I've had a couple more that came within a couple of inches of it and thought I had one right there. I really thought I had that one. You know, this is a very good design concept with what you have going here. Just the execution fell a little bit short of where you're going with it. The bunkers down here at the end, I really like. I like that look, and I like that a lot. And even your bumpiness right here almost works for me as a links course. Be a little bit smoother just from this point right here down into this point, only because as a landing area and where it's going to roll, that's actually going to start pushing that ball off. You don't want to have somebody hit a really good shot down into an area and have your sculpting cause bad shit. A little bit smoother from this hilltop down through your valley up to that, and it's pretty cool. That's round, soft, fuzzy brush, really big, and just let it ride, man. Hold down the X button, let up off of it, hold down the X button again, move it up, hold up, and let it go. But that's cool. Your camber here, I like the left to right. I like letting it fall off. Just make it a little bit smoother from the top of your hill down there. It's gonna give you a couple of things. Number one, it's gonna look better. The second thing is it's gonna create you a side hill lie that's gonna make it a little bit of a challenge come into there. So all in all, a good concept. Just finish it out. A little bit rough coming off of your green complex. This is really steep and angular coming off of that point right there. So that needs to be smoothed out. Even with that being a false front, you need that to be just a little bit smoother and more of a gradient coming off that point down into your bottom right here. If you do that, it makes that look a lot better. I'm not going to lie. I don't mind the planting on this one. I don't mind hiding the hole on this one. This is actually a pretty cool hole right here. If you play off to a different side, you get a different view going up into the green. Still think you need to smooth that out from the green side coming down from this point right here. I kind of like the idea of hitting up over the top of that into the green complex. I don't mind. And you don't have a lot of trouble, you know, on the back side of the green. So all your trouble's in front. So TST guys can't even like necessarily mess with that because they're gonna know their approximate distance to go in. You hit it that short and you deserve what you get on that. But same thing I mentioned with Kessler, how you've got your fairway running into here right here, and it just like butts right into the side of your green. Don't let it end like that. Start your curve back in here and let your fairway meld into the side of your green, and that's just a finishing look. That's just making it look concise. Same thing over here on this side. It just hits that edge. You can use the straight edge fairway brush or the peanut brush, whichever one you want to use to start doing it. You're eventually going to end up with straight edge brush. But start back here, get that curve going a little bit, and then let it meet into your green right here, and let it blend in. Instead of it just ending abruptly, is kind of like bam at a 90-degree angle, or not necessarily 90 degrees, not what I'm looking, but just perpendicular to your edging right there. You want that to meld in more than what it is, and that's just getting a clean finishing look. Yeah, let's go fast. I was dead on distance wise, but fast swing. Yay! Hooray for fast swings. Woo, boy, that thing's carrying out, isn't it? I thought it was going to check up a little bit right there, but it didn't. It kept going. Man, I'm putting too hard through the break. I need to back off the putting. These are still 166 greens. I'm putting like they're 145s. Putting way too much of my putts, even from downhill. So I had the right line if I didn't smash the shit out of that putt. Same thing on your tee boxes you saw on the flyover. You're just too close to the edge trying to make it work. Spread them out. And to be honest, you have no reason to have your tee boxes that close together anyway. With a course like this being a par 5, spread them out, man. There needs to be 15 to 20 yards minimal distance between those. Your back tee, your tips, and the one in front of it can be a little bit closer, probably about 10 yards. But that next step from, if I'm saying black, gold, blue, white, red, or whatever, my black and my gold can be closer together, but you want about 15 to 20 yard difference between your gold and your blue tee when it's looking at it. Don't be afraid to spread those out. Those are a little bit too tied up together. So if I'm a woman, typically the front tees are ladies' tees. So if I'm a lady, I've got every bit of about 45 yards distance between the front tee and the back tee. That front tee right there could very easily be up here in this area. Actually, to be honest, it should be about right here. And then your next tee set should be about right here. And then your next tee set should be about right here. And then when we're getting up close, about right here for that tee set. So you're a little bit too close on your groupings, and that's just a realistic thing. Vinegar will tell me if I'm wrong on that. Summer's Eve will let me know if I'm wrong, but I've played a lot of golf for a lot of years, man. You just don't have tee sets, complexes that tied up against each other front to back with 5 tee sets. You want that front forward tee. That is your shortest point, and you actually, if this is a 578 yard par 5 from the tips, your very, very forward tee is probably going to play at about 478. That's a pretty cool looking shot right there. You did a pretty fair job on that one. Could have done a little bit more with this front bunker right there, but that's very, very minimal kind of thing. All in all, this is a pretty nice looking hole, man. And once again, understand, I'm not trying to beat you up. I'm actually approaching this for somebody that you're a little bit newer than the designer. I'm actually trying to give you some things on this. I'm in no way trying to beat you up in what I'm having to say. I'm legitimately trying to be helpful, which is why I'm being so candid. I have not gone this in depth on anything up to this point. So Holy shit, I got one back. If I can find someplace else to make a birdie and not or bogey a hole, I might actually make even par out on this thing. And no more par 5s left. Not like I ever birdie par 5s, but just saying. My chances are dwindling. The one thing I can definitely take away from this, you've got very, very, very good hole concepts. I think anybody that plays this course can see that. You've got very good concepts on hole design on this. It's just your finishing and touch-up work, man, and that's something that's only going to come from being in the designer. It really is. Look at other people's courses, look and see what they do, and try to figure out why they did it the way that they did it. And see if it makes sense to you as to why they did it. When you start picking up on that and the flow of how this works, I think you're going to give us some really, really cool shit to play here in the very, very near future. These bunkers right here, I personally would not have made them in the fairway at all. So, to give you an idea of how I think, this is just my opinion. It's not what you did is wrong. It's just how I look at a course and how I do it. The first thing is, I don't want to hide this right here. That's a nice shape, and everything else, lower the front side, raise the back, that's a nice shape. Make it visible. Whether you lower the terrain, get rid of a little bit of your planning right there, show off that front bunker where you see it. Now your back bunkers in the back, eliminate the fairway behind it. Don't make them where they're actually in play in the fairway. Make it to where there's rough around them and your fairway is running up against them from the front. So you want them to play from your fairway right here, but you want a rough edge on the front side of this right here. You want this back side right here elevated. Hill that off. Not extreme. Don't make it like 16 feet high or anything else. Probably about 7 feet high right there. Raise that up and then make these playable. Build these bunkers into that hillside right there. Now, think about what your tee shot looks like right there. Is you've got those circle bunkers facing you straight off that. You've got your other bunker down there in the lower right that's staring you at. What does that tee shot look like? And how does that frame your hole? Now then, you're not depending on tall grass and plants to frame your hole and to capture your eye. Your golf course, your actual player areas are actually capturing your eye at that point. And they're playable in that way. So once again, I'm not saying anything you did was wrong. It's just a perspective. So if I'm looking at this, if I'm building this course, I'm looking at it, that's where my sight lines automatically draw. Like, how can I make those back bunkers stand out? How can I make this hole look more intimidating than what it really is? How can I draw a person's viewpoint to my golf course rather than depending on my grass and my flowers on the outside edges to keep people's attention? That's and I am not going to speak ill of the guy, because I think you said earlier that you had seen an Arctic Fury course and you're like, you know what, I liked it, I want to take that look and I want to figure out how I can make that work for me. Here's the thing, and I'm not going to get down on Adam at all. Adam's one of the best planners we have in the game, no doubt about it. To me, him and Andre are probably 1A and 1B as far as planting and ambiance and making you feel like you're actually on the course you need to be playing on. That being said, I don't believe Arctic Fury to be the strongest course builder that we have. I've played a lot of his courses where the planning was immaculate, and it's like, man, this is just really cool work. But when I play the course, it's like, oh my God, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? You know, well, this plays like a big pile of poopy, you know, kind of deal. So give as much thought to what you have going on in your inner areas as you do on the outside. And you can do a lot of things. You can emulate his look, don't emulate his playability. You're not going to win a lot of friends in the design community. Yep, poopy. I'm not going to lie, man. Once again, I said it before, and you guys have heard me say it before. I like Adam Benjamin, Arctic Fury, as you guys know him. I like his courses from a look standpoint. He is right up there at the very top. Playability-wise, he's one of my least favorite in design. Nah, I didn't censor myself. I like the word poopy. I think it's funny. Poopy makes me laugh. Finally. My ass back to even par. Buckle down a little bit. Make a putt. Get up, kid. Get up. Thanks. This is a nice looking hole right here. I like this off the tee. I like the angles. I like it running uphill. I'm not going to repeat the other stuff I've said about bunkers. I think you get the gist. Oh, man. Okay, I can't help but say this. Matt, how cool of a fucking bunker is this right here if he has rough leading down into that up against this green right here? Warhawk, that was so good. That is so good right there. Placement wise, the way it fits the contour, that once again, you have such great fucking instincts and concepts into what's going on here. It's just the finishing, man. It's making it work. Yeah, it's just rough right here. This has to be roughed off. Let it play into that hill right there, and that is spot the fuck on. I mean, that's just a great damn bunker. Placement-wise, the way you have embedded it in right there, it could be a little bit more flat on the opening side right here. It could be a little bit more even right here, but I don't mind it so much because it is a roll-off. And that actually works for me. But you've got to have the rough starting about this edge right here. Let it run up to the edge of your green, run it across the back to about this edge right here, and that is just damn near perfect. That's cool. This is a good looking hole, man. This is a strong hole. Long fucking par 4 playing uphill. Long par 4 playing uphill with any kind of wind. I still like it though. And there is a time and place for this. I am not one of those people that does not believe you cannot have long par 4s and everything else. You just have to mix them in with, and you've done that. You've had some shorter par 4s where you've been able to take some chances, so that's been good. That is a long sumbitch right there. Woo! Bringing that bunker into play. Shit, and I thought I hit a good shot right there, man. I know I was a little bit slow on my backswing, but that's just a good design. I'm going to give it to you. That's a good design. That's some very good instincts you had going on right there. I likes it. Man, that swung out to the right in a hurry, didn't it? All the break in that putt was right there at the beginning. And it just floated right on past the hole. This could be tricky coming back. Not that bad. Yeah, super solid hole on that one. You've got a lot of grass on this course. Oh my God. It makes me feel like you had all your holes laid in like 3.5 days, and you spent like the next month just planting grass. Oh my God. Okay, in general, this works. There's something missing, and I can't figure out what it is. In general, I think I know what it is. I think it's the bunkers being buried behind the green right there. I would probably, since you have a hill behind your green complex anyway, I wouldn't have flattened this out back here. I would have kept that hill running, ditched the apron a little bit, raise these up a little bit behind, and create a almost use a hill as a backstop coming back into your green. Yeah, it's a combination. I mean, but I don't mind blocking the water on that. Some people will say that you need to stair step your tee boxes here so you see the water. I'm not going to buy into that. I think this can work the way it is, but you're going to have to make a choice. You're either going to have to lower the front of your tee complex to where you see the water going into that shot, or you can leave it as it is and you need to raise behind the green and make it come in. Right now, proportionally, it's off, if that makes sense. It's just a little bit catching the eye. It needs one or the other. And Matt may be right. It may be where you need to stair step that off so you see the water in front. It definitely, it would look better if you did that. Or if even this was a lower elevation. You don't need to be 30 feet above your green complex right here. You're not adding anything to the shot, to be honest. You could go lower. So, okay, well, let's look at it this way. What happens if, comparatively, this is your tee shot? Now, if I can pull back to it. Now then, this is your tee shot. Which looks better? Well, on that point, it's not just your tees being close together, it's the elevation of where your tees are. You would have had to have a very dramatic stair step going down through there, and you could have done that. I probably would have lowered the entire complex. You don't need it 30 feet above on this. But I don't mind the bunkers on this. I don't mind hiding the bunkers on the backside right there if you have this tee shot right here. But it's got to have one or the other. You got to have some way to break it up. Otherwise, you've got the same elevation where you're shooting from, and then at the same elevation of where the hill is behind that. And it almost looks like you just took a flattened tool and went whack and whacked your green down in the middle of it. And it doesn't do any favors. This right here is a good-looking tee shot. So think about your tee shot from this angle right here, and you can see what we're talking about. I mean, seriously, does this look better? Or does this look better? Just my 2 cents. Oh, fast downswing. It got me. I'm dead. I am dead. Short and fast. I'm not even going to clear that. Oh, this is going to be fucking hilarious. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Good God, at the height of that grass. That's twice as tall as my dude. Oh. You hit that very well from my view the first time I saw it. That needs to be a little bit more... It's okay to hide your bunkers down here like that, but smooth this off. That's a really sharp fall right there. Smooth that off just a little bit, man. You can have that height, but that really quick dip right there, just extend it out and make it a little bit more gradual. You don't want it to end just like right there. It's almost like you just took a circle tool or a half circle around and went bop and lowered it 5 feet. Yeah, that's about 5 feet to drop right there. Well, it's telling me it's 5 feet to drop, so it's 5 feet to drop. Guess what? I'm going to chip this sumbitch. And probably make it work. Oh, get up there. Come on, man. Run out. Don't check up like that. This game hates me. Damn, I'm back to 2 over with 2 holes left to play. I got a back-to-back birdie here. Oh, the stuttering's going to make me have an epileptic seizure. A lot of grass. still cracks me up, Reeb, dude. If this ever catches on fire, it's going to burn this course to the ground. I'm sorry, that was funny. The way he phrased it in his, when he was doing his write-up in our judges area, that was just fucking amazing. Another solid concept. You're planting right in front of your tee box area. Doesn't add anything to it. As a matter of fact, it blocks it away. I would have ditched that. A little bit smoother, and I think you can see why right here. If I'm even a little bit left of where I just hit, I'm down there in the rough. No reason to push people off over there in that area. If they end up over there on their own, then that's on them. But just be careful of your humps and bumps right there. Make that a little bit smoother coming down off that hill. When you create those jagged angles, then you get an exaggerated kick off your ball. So just smooth it out just a little bit and let the ball feed down in there. People will love you for it. I'm playing with the controller, Kander. Look at my dude. He's shaking with this putt. Look at the putter. He's going, oh my God. It's about the way I feel right now. It's a slippery little putt. It's up 2 inches. Don't play so much break. These are only 166s. Now I get one back. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. A few hidden bunkers right there that you could have used to your advantage, but other than that, pretty cool. Got your driving range over there. Yeah, don't be afraid to show your bunkers off, man. Too many times they've just been a little bit below the eye level, so go ahead and raise them up here and there. It's good to have some pot bunkers that are hidden and everything else. You do see that. You don't want all of them to be there. Look, guys, we're going to hit through some really tall grass. It's really tall. No, really, it's tall. I saw MJ West release before. It kind of surprised me. Right before we came on stream, I was telling Aces, like, holy shit. I hadn't heard anything from MJ West. He hasn't posted anything, not a comment, nothing until tonight. Bam, there's a course all up in your face. I'm talking about Stay Puffed. Yeah. When we were doing our After Dark setup that never happened because Twitch was just fucking broken. No, he couldn't have. What the hell Matt are we talking about? Surely not. Surely not. Stay Puffed. Oh yeah, he did. Holy shit, he got it out. That dude told me he was going to be trying to work on it till in the morning and blah blah blah. Fuck him, man. Man, that's it. I hate Matt. I hate him. Yeah. Yeah, he said he wasn't going to get it out till tomorrow sometime. I guess he found inspiration since he killed Twitch and we couldn't do After Dark tonight. Dude, you're trying to kill me on this final putt, aren't you? I need birdie to get to even par, and I don't think it's going to happen here. We're 2 feet up. This is a man's putt right here. Overplaying it. Oh, look at that. He did it. Son of a bitch. Whoo! Whoo! Yeah. I feel better about that putt than anything I've hit today. I feel better about that putt right there than. No problem, Warhawk. You've got the makings of a really, really good course here, man. It's just on some of the final finishing work that those of us that have been designing for a while, this is how we started, and we just keep going. You just got to keep on doing courses and doing courses and doing courses. You have some great instincts in the designer. Just looking at some of your concepts, your layouts, and everything else, you've got some really good solid holes on here. You just need to figure out how to finish them off and get the right looks. Don't depend on this shit on the outside of your course to make your course look right. I'm just saying that, just being flat honest. I like your grassy look. I like the way it flows. It's got a lot of really good things going for it, but it's a little bit too dependent on the grass and the flowers and everything else. Let your course be the focal point. I mean, just like we were talking about in Kessler's stream, let your course be the focal point. Let it keep your eyeballs, there with it. Let it be where your focus needs to be. Make the other stuff part of the course. Don't make it what you're looking at and ignoring the rest of the course. So there's just a few things here and there, but you've got, once again, I mean, I can't impress enough. You've got a lot of really strong design concepts going on this course. I don't know. I don't know what to say except keep saying the same things. I mean, I pointed out the things. You kind of get where I'm coming from. I would actually try. I mean, you're going to have some notes coming out on this as we go through the judging. I'm going to release some of the notes from Dan and Aces and Reeb Doog. So you're going to get their perspectives from it as well and see what they have to say about things. So I would take them for what they are. If you have other designers, that, especially ones that are in this contest, get people like Matt and Clint that are over here. Get Scampy, get some of you guys to play your course and give you some honest feedback from it. And it may not always feel good. I mean, if you okay, it's the best way to say it. If you really want to get better as a designer, put your ego aside. Just put it aside. Not everybody's going to like your course. I don't care if you make the best course ever made in this fucking game, somebody's not going to like it, and they're going to say bad things about it. So you got to let your ego fall to the side. That being said, if you can take what people say, and you don't necessarily always have to agree with it, but at least try to look at it from their point of view. And it might be one of those things where you say, you know what, I at least see what he's saying, and there's merit in his idea, but it doesn't fit my vision for this course. I did what I wanted to do, but I at least see what he's trying to say. It will help you as you go along, because you're going to carry that info to your next course, and some of those ideas are going to start, kind of meshing, and you're just going to keep getting better and better and better. I said it earlier in your stream, go play other courses. Take the designers that you really like their work and look and see what they do and try to figure out why they did it, because most of the top designers have made choices that make a course play a certain way or showcase a certain thing. Andre is actually somebody very good at doing that, especially if you want something that has very solid ambiance and planting throughout. Go look and see what he does. Why is this bunker there? Why is it angled this way? Why is this hill this way? Reeb's another good one. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's and I tend to hit that quite a bit when I do these streams. I mean, all through these contests, I always talk about line of sight, sight lines. You know, breaking up where a person's looking, what gets their attention, and everything else. I mean, it's actually part of it. It really is. And the funny thing is, and Matt here may disagree with me, may agree or whatever, but the more you can use the natural terrain, or the more you can do where it's subtle, where you're not actually having to put objects or planting or whatever to make a person's eye go where you want it to and to make it look right, the better the course. It really is. When you have to start putting artificial stuff in to try to pull somebody's view from here or there and make them go, oh, that's pretty, that's not as good as when you can do things subtle, part of the natural terrain, and it just meld into the golf course to where it catches your eye, but you don't realize it's catching your eye. It just melds into the golf course. Because like for me, I mean, if you ever play anything of mine, I'm not a big planner. I do not do a lot of planning all over the place. If I do, it's only as a, what's the best word? Accoutrement. To what else is going on. I want it just to be something that takes away from a different area here or there. I'm just trying to balance my screen. When I'm standing on the tee, I think about it being a canvas, and I'm trying to paint a picture, and what's the best way I can paint a picture. So if my left side of my canvas is overloaded, then that means my right screen isn't, and I don't have balance there. How do I balance left to right? Every shot you have, whether it's a tee shot, approach shot, whatever, think about it as a canvas and try to find the balance on what it does. And it doesn't mean that you can't have more going on one side of it, but if you have more going on over there, it still needs to be balanced on the opposite side of it. And that's how you keep everything centered, and it doesn't feel like you're just getting all over the place with where you're going, if that makes any sense. I took a very roundabout way of trying to explain something, but it's the best way I can actually describe it in my design process, that every shot that I'm taking, I try to step away from it and really try to envision it as I'm painting a canvas. So where's my focal point? How do I balance it out? Do I want a lot of busy stuff going on the left? Okay, that's fine, I do. Then I need to balance it off over here on the right. That means that can't be busy as well. Then I just end up with a clusterfuck of a canvas with a lot of stuff going on, and somebody's going, oh, that's a lot of grass. Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm sorry, I had to take a poke right there. If I have a lot of stuff going on the left-hand side, I need to lower it on the right-hand side, but I need one or two small little things, whether it be a bunker raised up, whether it be planting, a tree line, whatever. I need something dramatic to pull there to take away from all the busy shit that I have going off on the left-hand side. So, I mean, it's just weird. It's very hard for me to explain. It really is. It's hard for me to explain because I know what it is in my head. When I'm sitting here visualizing what I'm trying to explain, I know exactly what it is, but it's harder to convey into words. But you're only going to get it by being in the designer, looking at other people's work, playing people that are known as top designers and looking around with it. Okay, I mean that's just the thing. But and by all means, Warhawk, I'm not saying I'm the best in the business or anything else. I'm not. There's other designers that are a lot better than I am. I mean, I'm as critical as funny as it is. I'm as critical of my own work as anything I am that you guys see me do on a stream. Any of the guys that have ever watched me stream my design work will tell you straight up, I'm fucked up when it comes to doing my own courses. I'm very anal, and I do shit that people are never going to see because it bugs the hell out of me if it's not where I want it to be. I take it to a different extreme that I shouldn't take it to, but it's just how I go through the process. But like I was saying, I'm not the best, but I know enough to at least be able to point some things out and help you get from point A to point B to point C. And once you get to point C, then it's all about the finishing work and you finishing out what you do. But yeah, exactly, Matt. I mean, I'm very artistic in real life. I may not come off like that. I mean, I tend to be kind of an athletic jockey guy in real life, but I've always been very artistic as well. I actually paint, I draw, I do things, and that's what pulls me into the designer. And it's one of those things that that I still do incorporate in golf course design. Is just my artistic, viewpoints from doing other things. From doing colored pencil artwork to acrylics to oils and every other thing. And there's a lot that goes into it, and math and angles are a lot of it, and that's something that as we go along, I'll point out. If you keep doing design contests or doing courses, I'll start talking to you more about angles, how to make people play to one side, how to make the difficulty in your course not be a shrunk down fairway and a tiny ass green with a lot of damn contour on it, how to make people make choices on clubs, make angles going into it, how to use the contour on a green to either reward or punish a choice somebody made off the tee. I mean, it's there. It doesn't always play the way you want it to, because frankly, it's video game golf, and people are oftentimes going to trump what you're trying to do. There are people just that damn good at the game, but for the casual player or the everyday player, it's going to play the way you want it to. But I mean, I'm not trying to be long-winded with where I'm going, just trying to illustrate what's going on. But honestly, once we get done with the design contest and everything kind of slows down for me, if you want, you are welcome to send me this course file at that point, and we'll get on a stream, and I will go through and kind of or do some of the things I'm telling you about. I'll go through and like make some of the changes and show you what I'm talking about versus what you've done, and then you can say, you know what, I agree and I like it, or okay, I see where he's going with this, but it's not my style, but I at least see what he's saying, and this might hold something down the line. So take it easy, Matt. So anyway, guys, I'm off as well. Been a fun, productive night, even though it wasn't intended to be productive. That is still fun. I'm going to get off here since it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to feel like ass tomorrow. It's going to cut down on what streams I do tomorrow afternoon. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good night. And if I don't get on tomorrow doing these, I will be back Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to finish up the entire stream series on this, and it will get down to hardcore judging. Deadline. Holy shit. Deadline is 8 hours away. 8 hours for these guys to get the courses in. So, tick tock, tick tock. Anyway, we'll check you later, guys. You have a good night.